everyone, it's DoodleDash. I've been doing digital art for about 3 years now, and over the years, I have discovered some tips. So, now I'm gonna share them. Let's get started. Tip number 1. Use layers. When you are coloring or even doing line art, it is always helpful to use layers. Now, I have this green circle and I'm going to shade it. But as you can see, the shading is covering the line art and no one wants that unless you have a certain style. So, to avoid this, have a separate layer for the line art and the base color. Add a layer between the two and shade. This way, it will not cover the line art. But look, the shading can still go under the line art if you're not careful. And this brings us to our second tip. Tip number 2. Use the clipping mask. To use the clipping mask, add a layer on top of your base color and select clipping. What clipping does is that it basically links two layers together. So, the layer on top can only be seen on the layer on the bottom. That way you can shade easily. Another thing you need to know is how to make your shadows have an aesthetic. To do that brings us to tip number 3. Tip number 3. Learn about the color wheel. The color wheel is an important thing to learn if you're working with colors. What I'm about to show you is about the complementary colors. These are the combinations. Green and red, yellow and purple, and orange and blue. Now, notice something similar with all the pairs? They all look good together. This is what complementary colors are. If you use one of these pairs as your color palette for your next piece, the colors would probably be nicer. Now, about that aesthetic shadow, what you do is you will select your base color and open the color wheel. My base color is green, so I will use a color that's closer to the cooler side. If your base color is a warmer color, use a color that's closer to the warmer side. Tip number 4. Use line variation. I have a picture of Yuki here and I'm going to show you line variation. I would make the lines thicker at darker spots like between the ear and the hair, and then I would also add some line variation at the chin. The other spots I'll put line variation is on her neck and some parts of her clothing. This is the before and this is the after. Tip number 5. Use a reference photo. Using a reference photo isn't cheating. In fact, it helps you learn to draw better. So this is my reference photo and this is the result. So a reference photo can help you know where to put your shadows and add highlights. That's all I have to say because I don't have much footage. Maybe it was because I was actually lazy. Hey, don't tell anybody. Tip number 6. Flip your canvas. Flipping your canvas can help you notice your mistakes when you have been drawing for a while. Like in my drawing, there are some mistakes like the jawline and the arms and the hair. So, I will use the liquify tool to fix things up by pushing them around. Okay guys, that's all the tips. I know I haven't posted since 8 months ago, but thank you for watching and have a nice day. Bye!